Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Today we are going to be jumping into some dark paranormal horror romance books because that's the mood that I'm in right now. It's fall time. I have on my orange sweater. I have some fall-y things in the background and I'm ready to get into some spooky season, but I'm really in a romance mood right now. So while I'm in the romance mood, I want to continue reading those. I picked out some books that are considered horror, paranormal, spooky romances. First one I have is Crave by Tracy Wolff. I've had this book on my bookshelf for like a couple years now, and it's supposed to be like a better version of Twilight, so we'll see. And it's about vampires. I typically don't like vampire stories, so we'll see how this goes. The next one I have right here is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, and this is a paranormal Greek retelling of Persephone and Hades. I love their dynamics, so there's that. The next book I have is on my Kindle, and it's Haunting Adeline. I don't remember the person's name at the moment who wrote this, who the author is. My camera decided to rudely die on me in the middle of me doing my intro, so Haunting Adeline is right here. This is supposed to be a spooky horror ghost romance, so we'll see how that goes. I've been hearing really good things about it. I know it's been out for a while now, but I just wanted to read that. So those are the three books that I plan on reading for this video, and I'm really excited, and I'm going to take you around, and I don't know what I'm going to do in it, but I just know that I'm going to be reading 3 spooky dooky paranormal romances because that's the mood that I'm in, and I'm gonna roll with it. Hope you enjoy this video. Hit that subscribe button down below and let me know what your favorite paranormal paranormal horror romance is down below, and let's get to this video. So I'm about to start reading this book, and I also just got like 3 emails from NetGalley saying that I was approved for books. I went on NetGalley the other night at like midnight and decided to go a little crazy with the picking out the books. Most of them are like books that I know that I'm gonna really enjoy. Some of them were just like, hey, let's see if I can get these. Hopefully NetGalley doesn't see that. Anyways, if you are interested in a NetGalley vlog, just let me know. I will do one of those. But like I said, I'm gonna start reading this book while the soup is still cooking and before it gets ready. Charles and Chris are outside right now, so got a little bit of mama time before they come back in. And yeah, I'm just gonna start reading. Here to update you on this. So I'm at the halfway mark, literally, just got there. And this book is alright so far. There's not a lot happening. Persephone has a lot of spunk to her. She's younger. She's still in college. She is on her journey of being a journalist. And of course Hades is Hades, so there's that. But they meet at Hades' club. She realizes that she has made a mistake by letting him teach her something, and then them getting into an agreement that she doesn't know that she's getting into and that kind of stuff. So he's basically like a bargainer for souls. If he wins a bet, he has your soul, and he gives you a certain amount of time to, like, you know, he gives you a certain amount of time to place your bet, try to see if you can overcome the obstacle that he's throwing in your way, and then if he doesn't, he gets your soul. If he does, then you win something. Kind of like a bargaining chip, basically. So she gets into this bargaining chip with him, and basically she has to create life in hell. And that's where this is going right now. There's angst to it. It's not a lot of angst. This is a very slow burn romance. You can tell that they have a lot of attraction towards each other. Hades is very like, he's very guarded. Persephone is young, and she just, like, you know, she's still under her mother's hold. She's trying to figure out, like, her life without her mother telling her what to do. and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much that. Like I said, there's not a lot of stuff that's happened so far besides her going to hell and trying to start life in hell, and then it's a lot of like clubbing. So it's basically that right now. So yep, so it's okay. It's getting more interesting. At first I was kind of like, I'm not really enjoying this too much, but now that the story is progressing and everything, I'm getting more interested than I was. So there's that. I'm gonna continue reading, and then when I finish this book, guess what? I'm gonna update you on it. Hello. So it is Saturday. We have been kind of out and about all day today. I put some, you know, clips of where we went. Oh my gosh, I had some of those things on the train. And I also finished A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, and I gave it 4 stars. It was a very slow burn at first, but then when, like, you know, the romance part started really happening, it was very angsty. It was very hot. It was just, you know, what you want out of your romance if you like angsty hot romances. So yeah, there's that. But I also really liked Hades and Persephone's relationship. I liked how Hades, even though he was like domineering, he wasn't super forceful. He wasn't like, they got jealous at times and stuff like that. But if you know Greek mythology, that's all about Greek mythology. Like Greek mythology is all jealousy and whatever. But I liked that he let Persephone figure stuff out on her own, that he gave her space to think about things, and he wasn't forceful in that way, because sometimes in these retellings it is about like power and force and making people do what you want them to do. Hades wasn't like that, and I liked that. I also liked seeing Persephone's character development in this story. She started out as kind of naive and a little damsel in distress, but as the story progressed, she found herself, she found her power, and it was just nice to see that. But in 4 stars. I am going to continue with the series. I have the other 3 books up there on my bookshelf, so I'm going to continue with this. I liked this retelling. It was nice. Then I started reading this last night, Crave, by Tracy Wolff. And this is about a girl named Grace whose parents have died recently, and the only family that she has left is her Uncle Flynn, and he is the headmaster of this elite boarding school in Alaska. And I'm only 37 pages, but the tone that I get of this is that it's gothic, horror, romance, paranormal, that kind of thing. The actual boarding school itself is a castle in the middle of nowhere in Alaska, so it's kind of, it has a lot of, obviously it's cold, but this guy that Grace just meets is bad boy, trying to scare Grace away, but she really doesn't have anywhere to go. I think her name is Grace. Is her name Grace? I think it's Grace. I believe it's Grace, but y'all know how I am with names. Yeah, okay, Grace. But so that's just how it is so far. Again, I'm getting very gothic, I'm getting dark, I'm getting middle of nowhere vibes. things that go bump in the night. I mean, this is like I'm pretty sure that this is a vampire story, and it has like wolves and maybe dragons and stuff like that, because those have been mentioned already. But I don't know. Evidently this bad boy's name is Jackson. So I don't know. Going into this, it is a YA book. This book has really good ratings, so we'll see. That's where I'm at. It's Saturday. Braves play. Alabama plays Tennessee, so a lot of ball games going on. Fall vibes, you know. Yeah, I'll fill you in when I'm halfway through this. So, I just got to the halfway mark of this book right here. It's basically what I expected it to be. Bad boy, new girl out of school, new girl likes bad boy, everyone else is scared of bad boy, that kind of thing. I am enjoying the mystery of what's going on at this school. I know that Jackson's a vampire, but there are other like creatures too at this school, and I'm trying to figure out what they all are. No one is telling Grace about the school because they don't want her to be in danger, even though she's in danger and all that kind of stuff. But that's one thing that I'm enjoying about this book. I it's just that. It's a boarding school with creatures, paranormal things going on. I think I know what's going on with Macy, who is Grace's cousin, but I don't know yet because Macy is keeping a lot of secrets from Grace too. They're all trying to protect her, even though keeps getting hurt. So it's just kind of like that. But it's intriguing enough for me to keep reading. There's that. It's my update. And like I just said, I'm going to keep reading it. I'm not feeling all that great today. And I just feel like sitting on the couch and reading for the remainder of the day. So hopefully I'll end up finishing this book. This book's pretty big. It's pretty chunky. So we shall see. Woo! I'm really tired. Okay, because I am tired. I have been busy the past couple days. So I finished this book and I ended up giving it 3.25 out of 5 stars. It was exactly what I expected it to be. It was, is fantasy, YA, about vampires, dragons, wolf shifters, all these things. Sad girl getting with the bad boy vampire. It's just that kind of story. Like, if you go into it knowing that it's that story, this is exactly what you're gonna get. There's nothing in here that's like super surprising when it comes to that aspect. I will say that I rolled my eyes a lot at certain parts. When I got to about the 415 page mark, I almost put the book down because I was like, seriously, oh my god, this is ridiculous. But then it got past that part quickly, and like I said, it was entertaining. It was what you would expect out of this book. It tells you exactly what it is. It tells you exactly what it's going to be about. It does just that. It's just very thick, and yep, that's it. And I'm nosy enough to continue with the series, so there's that. Even though I gave it a 3.25, I probably will continue with the series. Probably not right now, because I have other stuff that I want to read that is more intriguing to me, but I would not read the next book, And yeah, the characters, typical young people thinking they know everything, but they don't, having a lot of responsibility, learning, friendships, first loves, all that type of thing. So if you're interested in that, then you would love this book. Like, you would absolutely love it. But there's that. The next book that I'm getting into is Haunting Adeline. Ended up reading the first 3 chapters, I believe, last night. Now, that's my kind. Like, this is what I like in my romance. I really, really like this type of romance. It's dark. You already know it's dark. I like the main character. Adeline, and then you also get the perspective of another character as well. We don't know their name yet, but not a good person whatsoever. And it's gonna be super, like, you can already tell it's gonna be a super dark romance, but that's what I'm looking for right now. I'm not looking for I'm not, like I said, I enjoyed this book, but I'm not looking for this type of romance right now. I'm looking for a dark, emotional romance that's gonna give me the heebie-jeebies, like scary wise, but it's also gonna be like swoon. So, you know, that's what I want. That's what I want. And I think that Haunting Adeline is gonna give me that. So, gonna read that, gonna continue with it. Hello, here to update you on Haunting Adeline. Ended up getting to about the 52% mark last night. And okay, I knew it was gonna be dark, like, right? I knew that was a no given. Like, that was, you know, that was a, you get in a dark story, right? But, oops, I'm trying to center you. But there's also a point in the book where it teeters on that line of consent. And if you don't know my reading taste, consent is like super big with romance stories for me. And this book teeters on that line of consent, and it's bothering me. Though, I can say this, it's not like people are like saying, oh, okay, she does say no. But, Adeline has a stalker, and the stalker is finally making advances towards Adeline. Adeline enjoys the thrill of it, but she's also scared. But then she kind of likes it too, right? And that's where the line of consent comes in, because he knows Adeline and he knows what she wants, but she, like, I don't know, it teeters on that line. And I hope as the story progresses, like, I hope as we continue to get farther and farther into it, that changes a little bit. Or it changes a lot, not a little bit, because I don't know if I can get past that. But other than that, I'm really enjoying the story. It has like a little paranormal twist to it. It has a lot of talk about anxiety. It has a lot of talk about grief. And there's also a point in this story where Zane, that's Adeline Stalker's name, like, he does good things, but he's not a good person, if that makes sense. Like, he does good things for other people, but he's not at all a good person. She knows that, he knows that, and he just like, whatever, that's just who I am. So I hope that kind of changes a little bit and he gets a little like softer towards her, because right now he's not, but she likes that too as well. So I don't know, it's hard to explain at this point in the novel, but I am going to continue with it. It's intriguing me. I am enjoying it for the most part, and I don't know, I'm just gonna see what happens, because I've heard nothing but fabulous stories about, like, fabulous things about this. Some of my friends really like this book. The reviews on it are very, very good, and I'm hoping that, you know, after the 50% mark, it'll just keep advancing up. But that line of consent, the teetering on that line of consent is really bothering me, and I hope that changes. Like, I hope that, you know what I'm saying. I hope that it changes. Hello, I'm here to end this vlog, but before I do that, I'm gonna let you know how I felt about Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline, because I went ahead and just read both of those books, because Haunting Adeline ended on a super big cliffhanger, and I was like, you know, I'm nosy, so I have to go see what the other book is about, you know. I mean, why not? You can't just leave a cliffhanger like that and not know what's it about. Yeah, anyways, okay. I gave both of these books 4 stars. And these books are kind of hard to discuss without, you know, giving a lot of stuff away. Plus, there's a lot of content in here that I don't think that is for everybody. I had a hard time reading a lot of what was going on, especially when it was the intimate scenes between Addie and Zaid, because that line of consent that I talked about in my previous clip, it was very hard for me to read, because in my romances, I want my love interest to have, like, to give full consent. In this book, it is basically, Addie she gets turned on by being scared, and Zaid realizes this and he uses that to his advantage a lot of times. It's not that Addie is like saying no. Well, I mean, she does say no, but it's very hard to talk, like it's very hard to explain, because Addie doesn't think that she wants it, but in the end she ends up wanting it, you know, and that kind of thing is hard for me to read. But I know that there are people out there that are like that, and that is like part of their fantasy and everything like that. So that was just some of the things that I had a harder time reading. This book, or these two books, also have content about human trafficking and the R word and all that stuff as well. And that's really hard to read about, because the author goes into great detail about those things. I think that they do it because it's going on in the world. If you don't know, it's going on in the world, and it's important to know, and it's important to read about what people go through in those specific circumstances. And there's no leaf unturned when the author is talking about these things. So the second book, farther, I mean, you see more of Addie and Zaid's relationship, but you also see some of the things that Addie has to go through to get where she ends up at the end of the book. She has a lot of character development in the second book, as well as Zaid. Zaid is pretty much himself all the way through. Addie, at the beginning, like in Haunting Adeline, I wouldn't say that she's naive, but she doesn't know about the things that go on in the world. Zaid helps her realize that there are horrible things going on and people need to be stopped. The way they go about it is kind of unconventional to a lot of people, and I think that some people reading these books would have a hard time with that as well. I personally like dark things like this, which is why I ended up giving 4 stars, besides the consent part of these books. I do think that these books are important for people to read. I'm not going to say go read them, because I don't know who I would say, hey, I think you would really enjoy this book or these 2 books, because just of a lot of the content. Make sure that if you read these books, you look at the trigger warnings, because they are, like I said, a whole trigger warning in itself. There are many trigger warnings. The author even goes into the trigger warnings. These 2 books have also been banned at one point, or they were also banned on Amazon at one point, because of the trigger warnings and because of the content in these books. So if you were interested in reading these books, make sure you read up before you get into it. The author gives explicit trigger warnings at the very beginning of the book on her website, and just make sure that you take care of yourself before you get into these books. They're not awful at all, which is why I gave them 4 stars. I think that they're very fast paced, even though they're long. The second book was a little bit longer, but the second book also brings in a lot of side characters that you see in the first book, but it goes in more detail about those characters, and I think that those characters were able to break up a lot of the heavy content in these, because they bring a lot of humor. Sibby, even though she has a lot of things that are mentally wrong with her, she's very funny and she's very loyal, and I like those kind of side characters. And the author has also said that Jay and Sibby will probably be getting their own novels. I know that Sibby already has a novella that's out that the author would like for people to read before they get into these 2 books. But yeah, so there's just a lot to unpack in these books, and I've been talking for 5 minutes about these books just because there's a lot. But if you are interested in these books, go for it. I am here to warn you that there's a lot. There's a lot too. There's a lot. There's a lot of dark fantasies in here. There's just a lot of talk about what consent is and how people view that. And I know that I've said the word consent like 5 million times, but that's a big part of these books. If you were interested, like I said, trigger warnings, read them. And yeah, so these are the books that I read for this video. And I hope that you enjoyed it. I will be coming out with a new video very soon. It's going to be all about Halloween. It's going to be about horror. So I hope to see you there, but make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Let me know what you thought of this video. And like I said, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.